Greetings, math fans. All right, so today's topic is called solving right triangles. Okay, and basically what we're doing is I'm going to give you some angles and I'm going to give you some sides. You're just going to be the rest of the sides and angles. It's as simple as that. Okay, so a couple things we need to talk about here first. Okay, so if I draw a nice little right triangle here, and I label those A, B, C, easy as 1, 2, 3, and basically your angles are always upper case letters. Okay, and your sides are lower case letters. Always got to remember that. It's really, really important. Okay, so again, don't come up to me and say, now is this a side or is it an angle? Because I'll tell you to go sit down because I just taught it to you. All right, so here's the deal, math fans. The side letters are opposite angle letters. And this happens a lot. Kids, I kind of even haven't marked my notes here. Kids get this wrong a lot. So that side, or that angle C, goes with little c. Okay, that angle B, again opposite, it's little b, and that side, or angle A, is little side A. Okay, just remember that. So opposite, the letters are always corresponding. So opposite C, little c, opposite angle A, little a, opposite angle B, little b. Okay? Okay, pretty easy, pretty easy. So let's just do solving some triangles now. And again, it's just the direction they're going to say solve the triangle. Right, and all these are nice little right triangles, which is very friendly. And I got A, B, and C. And this is going to be 3, 4, and that's what's given. Okay? And basically what you're going to do is you're going to say, oh, well, I'm going to put this section in red. Well, I'm going to put this in red. So this is actually given. So what you're trying to do here, math fans, is you're trying to use the information that's given as opposed to using calculated values. Okay, because what happens if you use a calculated value and you actually calculated it wrong, that's just going to compound the error. Okay, and you're going to keep making more and more and more errors because you keep using wrong stuff. So the deal is you always want to try and use the information that's given if you can. If you can't, sometimes you can't, then that's a different story. Okay, but if you can use information that's given to come up with the solution, that's what you want to do. So obviously the first thing you're going to do is I'm going to find side C, so little c, and you either know it's 3, 4, 5 triangles, so the answer is 5, or you use Pythagorean theorem. So either one of those two, but we do know it is 5. Okay? And now I need to figure out the angles measure of A and B. So let's do angle B. So the measure of angle B, how do we find that? Let's just put a colon here. How do you find that? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to use trig. Okay, we're going to use our nice little inverse trig functions to find values of angles. And so if you remember, again, it's using, this is really important, so, ka, toa. Okay, and which ones are going to, which trig function uses the opposite and adjacent? So that's basically the 3 and the 4. Well, the only one that does that is tangent. All right, you're not going to use the other ones because the other ones actually use the hypotenuse, and we actually used, we calculated that 5 using Pythagorean theorem or 3, 4, 5. So if we made a mistake and we said it was a 3, 4, 7 triangle for some reason, and then we use that 7 in the equation, you're going to get it wrong. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say tangent of big B equals opposite over adjacent. All right, and then when I want to find B, I do the inverse tangent of that 3/4. Okay, make sure when you type in your calculator you close the parentheses, and you use your inverse tangent button, right? Second tangent. And if I actually round to the nearest minute, you guys can actually do this while I'm doing it, but it comes out to be 53 degrees 8 minutes. Okay, and then measure of angle A. Now again, the best way to do this is actually you want to do tangent again. So tangent of A is equal to opposite over adjacent. So angle A equals inverse tangent of 4/3. So measurement of angle A, gives you 36 degrees, 52 minutes. Now so basically we solved everything. So we have, let me just highlight this, we have C is 5, we have B is 53 degrees 8 minutes, and A is 36:52. Okay, it's a good idea to make sure, of course, A and B add up to what? They need to add up to 90 degrees. Okay, it's very important. If they don't add up to 90 degrees, the triangle's got to have 180 degrees, and it's already got 90 at angle C, and so, just got to make sure, it adds up correctly. Now, I think, would I have done it this way to get angle A? Maybe. Truly, I know it's 90 minus 53 degrees 8 minutes. And I probably would have done this. And I'm not going to mark it wrong if you use a calculated value, but I'm just warning you that if you use a calculated value and it is wrong, you're just going to compound your error. Okay? So, I probably would have gone this route because it's not necessarily a really complex calculation, and that one kind of works out pretty well. But this also works just as well, right? Using the tangent of theta, or of A is equal to 4/3. Okay? All right. So let's try another one here. Again, this is going to be solve a triangle. And I'll give you some information. And this is our A, B, C with a right angle at C. This is 6 centimeters. And this is 50 diggity. Okay, so how do you find, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to find angle A. That's easy. It's just 90 minus 50, which is 40 degrees. Okay, so that's pretty easy. And then let's find, we got little a and little c to find. So let's find side A. And how am I going to find side A? Well, again, I'm going to try and use the information that's given. So I'm going to use, well, let's kind of highlight this, right? I'm going to use this, one of these, hopefully both of those things here, and I certainly can. You're going to say side A, I'm going to go a tangent of 50 degrees, because tangent uses opposite and it also uses adjacent, okay? And the only thing that's missing here is the adjacent, so that's what we're figuring out. So tangent of 50 equals 6 over A. And then we cross multiply and we get A tangent of 50 equals 6 divided by tangent of 50. So 6 divided by tangent of 50 gives me 5.03. Now if you would give me that answer, I'd actually take 1 point off. Boo! Why would I take 1 point off? Because you need your units. Okay, units. Very, very important. Okay, now to find C, again, I could use Pythagorean theorem, but I would almost advise not doing Pythagorean theorem now, especially this is rounded. Now if you kept, instead of saying 5.03, you had 5.039765, you had the whole thing, then you'd probably get somewhat reasonable of an answer. But for now, why not just, I'm looking for, again, side C. Side C, why don't I just use trig again, okay? And so side C, again, using that 6 and that 50 degrees, what trig function are you going to use? Well, 6 is opposite of this, right? So I can use opposite, and I'm looking for hypotenuse. So which one's opposite and hypotenuse? It's sine. So sine of 50 degrees equals 6 opposite over hypotenuse. We'll see. Okay, you cross multiply and you get C sine of 50 equals 6 divided by sine of 50. So C comes out to be 7.83, and again, don't forget your units. Okay? Not bad. It's really pretty easy. Alright, and then the next example here for solving, again, so I'm going to say solve the triangle. And This is what you're given. So this is 8 kilometers and 5 kilometers, and this is A, B, and C. Okay, so of course, how do you find little b? You find little b by using Pythagorean theorem. So b squared equals 8 squared minus 5 squared. So b squared equals 64 minus 25. So subtract, and you get b. So b squared is equal to 39. Take the square root of both sides. And again, please don't give me plus or minus. You know better. Lengths can only be positive. So you get 6.24 kerfometers, kms. Okay? Now let's do a measurement of angle A, just for the heck of it. So angle A, we're going to do, now again, which one uses these two values? I don't want to use B. Which one uses it? Well, opposite and hypotenuse. So opposite and hypotenuse is sine. So I would say sine of A is equal to 5/8. And then I do inverse sine of 5/8. And that gives me angle A is equal to 38 degrees 41 minutes. Okay? And then I could, it's not a bad way to go about doing it. I could say 90, so this is angle B. I could say 90 minus 38.41. Okay, again, there's always a risk. So yeah, I could do that. I mean, truly, if you subtract, you get 51 degrees 19 minutes. But the way I can do it, I can also say measurement of angle B, and that would be cosine of B, right? Because cosine of B is adjacent over hypotenuse. So cosine of B is equal to 5/8, and I do B is equal to inverse cosine of 5/8. And you put that in your calculator, and you get angle B is equal to 51 degrees 19 minutes. Okay? So anyway, that's it, math fans, for solving triangles. Really pretty easy. I gave you guys 3 examples, and hopefully you guys are good to go with this. And just again, don't use rounded values, and don't use calculated values either. And you should be good to go. All right, that's it, math fans. Have an outstanding day. Adios. Goodbye.